Like it's not even about football. Like who actually talked about the football game this week when they talked about the Cleveland Browns? I hope y'all beat us.
We need to get into previewing the reason why we have a podcast at all, and that is the Battle of Ohio. So let's talk about this game, Thomas. Are you excited?
Yeah, hell yeah. Case Keenum versus Brandon Allen, baby.
Yeah. See, there you go. So getting into the spirit of it.
Dearness Johnson versus who your back running back? Who's your third string running back?
Third string running back is Chris Evans, but you'll probably see Samaje Perine.
Okay, well there you go. Samaje Perine versus Dearness Johnson, baby. I actually like our backups better than your backups.
Oh yeah. You're well. Okay, so
I mean,
okay. So I think
pretty even.
I think talent-wise, I think Brandon Allen is a more talented quarterback than Case Keenum. But I think Case Keenum is a steadier quarterback than Brandon Allen. So you'd probably give because steadiness is what's really important for a backup quarterback. So you probably give the advantage there to Case Keenum. And then like running back wise, I don't know. I would probably give it to Dearness Johnson. But I will say at the same time, like I think Dearness Johnson sometimes gets a little overrated because of the big flashy games that he's had in Nick Chubb's stead, and I don't think Samaje Perine gets enough credit for the fact that he just runs so hard.
He's good. He's a baller. He's a baller. I like him.
And then as far as backups on. Backup wide receivers, I think we got that, in spades. Just because, our whole wide receiver room is way ahead of the Browns. And it's on the back end, too. Like, Stanley Morgan Jr., I'll put him up against any, fourth-string wide receiver that the Browns have.
Sure, I'll put him against any first-string receiver the Browns got, for real. Honestly, the Browns the Browns have talent. It's not the talent. The problem isn't the talent, it's the function.
Yeah.
As far as this game goes, as far as previewing this game, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm trying to figure out who's actually going to even play this game for the Browns or the Bengals, for that matter.
Well, see, that's kind of what I'm wondering, because right now it looks like I looked at the Browns injury report, and right now it looks like the guys who are going to be questionable game time decisions are Ronnie Harrison, Troy Hill, Kareem Hunt, John Johnson, David Njoku, Denzel Ward, and Greedy Williams. I'm a little surprised that I didn't see Myles Garrett on there.
None of those guys are going to play. None of those guys you mentioned are going to play because none of those guys have anything to prove at all. They'll just be out there risking injuries, so none of those guys are going to play. If they're questionable, they're probably not going to play.
That's good because I still have nightmares of Denzel Ward.
That was a beautiful interception.
That was not a beautiful interception. I'm so glad I deleted it.
I freaking hate you for doing that too. Cause I had the perfect. That was probably the best play all year. Like honestly, at least I got that this year. At least I got that from this year.
So what happened was I was trying to do this video series for my YouTube channel. Where I do a game day vlog because I have season tickets to all the Bengals home games. So why the hell not make a vlog about it? Why produce some extra content, get some people kind of a inside look of what it's like, going to every single Bengals home game. And the problem is my phone just does not have the space on it to record all of that footage. So for my phone to even fucking work, there was so by the end of that game there was so much storage used up on the phone I couldn't even send a text message. So I basically had to pick and choose stuff to delete, and I just ended up deleting all of the half of the videos from the first half of the Bengals game.
Anybody else shaking my head while they listen to this? Because I am.
Yeah.
I hate you for that. We smoked y'all that game. We smoked y'all that game. That was fun. That was a very fun day for me. I was so happy that day. That was the happiest I've been all football season.
Well, you know what? That game was a turning point for the Browns because they didn't look very good
Sucked
at
ever
any
since.
game. Right. Haven't looked good a single game since, and wasn't really a turning point for the Bengals because the Bengals didn't start kind of turning themselves around until probably about the last. I'd say like the last 3, maybe 4 weeks if you count the San Francisco game, because like halfway through the San Francisco game, save for the turnover, is when the Bengals really kind of started to turn that corner on the season. That
I
Browns
don't.
game was kind of the turning point of this team showing that maybe it's not ready to be a top level team, and then they figured out how to do it later on in the season. But
Man, the crazy thing is how freaking close we were, though. That's the thing that I'm tripping on. Like you think about it, we were one first down away from beating the Raiders. We were literally one first down, 2 yards away from beating the Raiders, and that would have put us in first place. And
yeah,
then we were only 20 yards away from being the best team in football in their stadium. Like that hunts me at night. Like y'all ex, like the thing is about the Bengals though, and I hear, and then the thing is about the Bengals and Zach Taylor. Say what y'all want about Zach Taylor. Say what y'all want about Joe Burrow. They executed down the line when it was time to execute. Excuse me. The Browns didn't. Hmm.
well, when it mattered for sure, but
Oh yeah,
I mean,
Kansas City.
you say you still have you still have like the 20 yards against the Packers keeps you up at night. Well, Evan McPherson's missed field goal kind of keeps me up at night. And then there's the Jets game. It's just like, it's not the same because obviously the Browns like totally missed the playoffs this year. But like I'm sitting here as like a Bengals fan. One thing I wanted to talk about in this in talking about the Battle of Ohio that's coming up is the Bengals are not going to be taking this game all that much more seriously than the Browns. I mean, maybe a little bit because there is a few things left to play for, but the only thing that's really that big of a deal is probably the number 1 seed in the playoffs. And that's kind of a long shot. Basically, they would need the Chiefs and Titans to both lose. So the Broncos would have to beat the Chiefs, and the Texans would have to beat the Titans. Now, that's not entirely crazy for either of those teams. The Broncos always play the Chiefs tough, and the Texans already beat the Titans earlier this year. But the likelihood of both of those things happening is kind of slim.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this though.
And then the Bills would have to beat the Jets. That's a caveat, but they're probably going to beat the Jets. But
I mean, it's also week 18. Anything can happen. This last week, people are resting. There's a lot of games like this game. Nobody knows. Like literally anything can happen this week. Like I
well,
seen,
I bet you
seen
the Chiefs and Titans are not going to be resting anybody.
the Browns had this running back named Harrison. He ran for 300 yards the last week of the season. True story. Never did anything else during his career. Freaking Josh Cribbs that same game broke the record for most kickoff returns in a career. I had 2 kickoff returns in one game.
Yeah.
True story. Look at the Kansas City Chiefs versus Browns. What was it? 2010, I think it was. What year was that? Anyway, yeah. I don't know. James Harrison, I think his name was. And then his career ended because
there was a Browns player named James. There was a Browns running back
something
named
Harrison.
James Harrison.
Something Harrison. Wait, hold on. Let me look this up. I'll tell you exactly what it was. You go ahead and keep talking, and I'm going to look this game up.
All right. So the other notable part about the Bengals and Browns game this week, from the Bengals' perspective, is they just happened, Thomas, to have a massive COVID outbreak at the perfect fucking time. I don't know if they intended this, if they had a COVID party, they all got together, or maybe they found the team doctors and they're like, oh, I have COVID, I must now be tested, and then got the COVID test and everything like that. Because the thing is, these guys who went on the COVID list are Von Bell, Akeem Davis-Gaither, Jordan Evans, Trey Hendrickson, B.J. Hill, Trey Hopkins, Joe Mixon, Larry Ogunjobi, and Quentin Spain. And all those guys have COVID. That means that they are guaranteed They have immunity. They have COVID immunity for
Mhm.
like the next like 90 days or something like that. So they are
Yep.
not going to have issues with COVID through the rest of the playoffs.
Yep.
If only somebody could
That,
go give Joe Burrow COVID.
that's why people. That's why I said that last podcast. Like, yeah, the best time to get COVID would be
Yeah.
would be right now. By the way, I found the game. Josh Cribbs had he had that game. It was 2000. How come tell me the year? But anyway, regardless, it was 2009. Browns vs. Chiefs in Week 15. Jameer Harrison rushed for 286 yards and 3 touchdowns.
God damn.
And Josh Cribbs had returned 2 kickoff returns of 100 yards or more. Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah. You know the Browns record was that year? 6-10.
Oh. Well, I would have guessed something like that because
I should let you guess.
I probably would have guessed 6-10 because there was a stretch there for the Browns where they were either having like a 5-11 or 6-10 record every fucking year.
Like, it's not even about football. Like who actually talked about the football game this week when they talked about the Cleveland Browns? I hope y'all beat us.
Well, you see that is I think the thing. From the perspective of Bengals fans, obviously want to win this game because I mean, just if anything, from my perspective, 11-6 sounds better than 10-7, just straight up. And then on top of that, there's it's the number 3 seed versus the number 4 seed. Is you're guaranteed. I think guaranteed the number 3 seed if you win. Guaranteed basically the number 4 seed if you lose. And then there's also the possibility of going and getting the 2 seed, and then going and getting the 1 seed. But like I said, that would require the Houston Texans beating the Tennessee Titans and the Denver Broncos beating the Kansas City Chiefs. So we're not exactly like, we need to like throw all our, throw everything in, like all our apples in one basket on this kind of thing. It's a very unlikely scenario. So I don't know. But at the same time, be nice to win. Be nice if we, could actually beat the Browns because we haven't done it in a while. And Baker Mayfield is going to hang on because he's having season-ending shoulder surgery, so we're not going to see him this week. So he's going to hang on to that undefeated record against the Bengals, which is annoying. But
yeah,
at least we have at least we have the chance to go beat the Cleveland Browns franchise this week. And it might have to be through Brandon Allen and Samaje Perine, but those two guys have proven to be, pretty capable. Like Brandon Allen, we won a few games with him last year after Joe Burrow went down. Well, 2 games. But point is, Brandon Allen proved he's a capable backup last year. And Samaje Perine has been used plenty this year. Joe Mixon's not going to be used, but I mean, honestly, like, given the current state of the Cleveland Browns roster and their current mentality and all that, and the fact that half of them are probably just ready to go off on vacation now and probably don't even really want to be playing in this game, makes me kind of think that, the Bengals have, like regardless of who the Bengals put out there, they should have a pretty good shot because at the very least, those guys are going to be more motivated than the guys on the other side.
Brandon Allen's trying to stay undefeated against the Browns.
Is Brandon Allen?
Yeah. Yep.
Was that one game? Was that one game he played in Denver? Was that against the Browns?
Yep.
Oh well, there you go then.
Yep. I got a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, here go a question. You gonna love this question. If Andy Dalton played this season with this Browns team, would they have a better record than they have now? I think so.
Well, of course. I mean, you're saying if Andy Dalton was the starter from week 1 to week 18?
Yes.
Yeah, of course I do. Because I mean, are we just assuming Andy Dalton in the state of health that Andy Dalton's been in all year in Chicago, not Baker Mayfield's torn labrum issue?
No, if he's just fully healthy.
If he's just fully healthy, then yeah, absolutely. I feel like any decent quarterback would be better than a 25% Baker Mayfield.